presentation. And the rest 5 minutes for discussion or Q&A, question and answer. Yeah? And each participant can ask question also, give critiques, suggestion or other arguments for the presenter. Then the presenter has time to respond all of the questions. Okay, for the first time, I invite the presenter with ID paper number 1916, okay, 1916, yeah, 16. Mr. Mujibur Rahman, yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Mr. Mujibur Rahman or Mas Mahendra, yeah, who will present a manuscript with the title Panglima Laut, Maritime Cultural Heritage and Sustainable of the Coastal Environment in Aceh. Okay, is it correct? Okay, please present your best presentation and time for you.
Thank you for moderator for having me the opportunity to explain and presented about Panglima Laut, maritime culture, heritage, and sustainability of the coastal environment in Aceh. This title, of course, Panglima Laut is okay. Further more information about Panglima Laut. Panglima Laut is a maritime culture heritage of the Aceh Kingdom, which is based on Aceh. Canon number 10 of 2008 concerning of customary institution has become a local wisdom. And the next part, at the time, the position of Panglima Laut was extension of the Sultan's hands in the order to carry out two main tasks, namely collection exercise from merchant ships anchored at the port of mobilizing and the people for war purpose. In addition, according A.M. Juliati Suroyo, Aceh at the time of Sultan Iskandar Muda had issued a customary sea law, which is specially regulated fishing in the sea, related fishermen's wages for work and boats, equipment, and the others. The official who takes care of this is Panglima Laut. I think we should cut this slide. That was important slide. In the era technological advance day, in the era of the technological advance nowadays, its leads of human greed unstoppable. It is include exploring the nature of the sea. Many fishing equipment, they are not environmentally friendly, and some even use bombs and trawlers to increase catch without paying attention to the environmental damage. However, there are still indigenous fishing groups who still have values that are very respectful to the environment. This research method used in this research was qualitative qualitative research method with historical and anthropological research approaches. The historical approach was need to analyze and understand that Panglima Laut as a legacy of the Aceh Kingdom. Meanwhile, the anthropological approach is to understand Panglima Laut as a local culture and coastal culture in Aceh. The key for this presentation is local wisdom, because local wisdom has a customary corridor to demand community behavior nature for fishermen and uphold customary value. Wisdom is necessity that is embedded in the society that uphold respect for nature. This opinion has been reinforced by Sir Jono Sokanto, who argues that society means people who live together, who produce culture. Thus, there is not society that does not have culture, and vice versa. There is no culture without society as a friend of the culture portrayed. Okay, I think this is I would like to show that Panglima Laut has existed since the days Samudra Pasai in kingdom in the 14th century. Then confirmed Sultan Iskandar Muda and 1697 and 1639. Fun for Helen assert that there is many different kind of authorized institution in Aceh. And according to Kamaruzaman, which is the man who in life in Jakarta, Panglima Laut is not only the guardian of the law, customary law, but also as a part of the government. Panglima Laut collaborates with Syah Bandar and Ule Balang. That's mean a term in Acehese language in coastal area and during the Islamic Kingdom era in Aceh. And all customary institutions, including the Panglima Laut, has been unity and government system under control of the Sultan. The next slide, I would like to yes, and this part, law custom and laut customary law, Panglima Laut has a big role of fishing immunity at the forward are paid on the Panglima Laut. And the four aspects of the role constitute the hereditary strategy role of the Panglima Laut in realizing environmental sustainability. Oh yeah, and this part, Kenduri Laut, that's mean in ICENIS term, for the ICENIS fishing community, for the relationship between human creature and the surrounding environment in dealing with the local environment. And this table, I would like to explain with the next man, not day. It will not only have positive impact on fishermen, but also a good impact for sustainability, the marine and coastal environmental for the nature. And its main Konduri Laut, we have in ICENIS the activities about the activities in the sea, the related the people fishing and fisher. There are have 15 holidays. That's mean around almost two months that give the opportunity in the sea that we have to save the, the, the environmental in the sea. And the Candelilla Oat we tree 3-day holidays, and every Friday, one day, 48th time, and in 1 year, and book it Idul Fitri and at Idul Adha, we have uh, 3 days at the same time.
Pak Mujib, the rest
Okay.
time for your presentation is
Okay.
only 3 minutes more. Can you
Okay.
speed up your presentation?
And okay, and this is the inclusion. In conclusions, Panglima Laut is American culture, heritage of the Aceh Kingdom. Panglima Laut, through Laut custom and the Laut customary law, has had a major influence in limiting human behavior toward nature. Thank you for the time, and I said afternoon for everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Mujib. Your topic presentation is very interesting, dealing with Panglima Laut, with historical studies, and you have presented on time. And now it is time for discussion. I invite each participant to ask question to presenter. Time for participant. Please. Okay, time for participants. Nobody asked the question. Okay, no question asked from participants. So it is blessing for Pak Mujib, Presentation time is up. Once again, I would like to thanks for your excellent presentations and thank you all. Yes, for the next presentation, I invite the presenter with IT paper numbers 1924, Mr. Yunus Arsibowo, who will present a manuscript with the title Geospatial Technology Based Tsunami Prone Areas Identification in Pacitan, Indonesia. You have 15 minutes, 10 minutes for presentation, and the rest 5 minutes for discussions. Times for you.
Okay. Thank you, Bapak Amiruddin.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. I'm Yunus Arsibowo. I would like to present my latest research entitled Geospatial Technology-Based Tsunami-Prone Areas Identification in Pacitan, Indonesia. This is my table of content of my presentation. And our introduction is tsunami is a disaster that is very destructive and has the potential to cause considerable losses to humans. And it was recorded that 246 tsunami events hit Indonesia from 1,500 to 2018. During that time, the tsunami in Indonesia caused many damage and casualties. And various modeling and approaches have been carried out to determine the height, estimation of tsunami travel time to land, amplitude, inundation area, potential energy, seismic gaps, evacuation routes, and however, modeling with these objectives requires many data and data processing devices such as computers that require high cost. The tsunami modeling in this study was carried out using relatively simple data, namely the digital elevation model or DEM from Badan Informasi Geospasial and the shoreline, as well as using less complicated geospatial technology. The advantage of the method used in this study is the analysis of coastal geomorphological characteristics to validate the results of the tsunami Indonesian modeling. Pacitan Regency is one of the waterfront cities in the coastal area of South Java, which is very close to the Megathrust zone, which is the meeting point of the Indonesian, Indo-Australian, and Eurasian plates. This is our introduction and our background. And then the study area, Pacitan Regency is a coastal city centered in Pacitan Bay or Pancardor Bay, directly adjacent to the Indian Ocean. This is the map location of the Pacitan Regency. Therefore, if the area is exposed to an earthquake or tsunami, the losses will be substantial. This is our research methods. The run-up modeling of the tsunami Indonesian in this study was carried out using geospatial technology, namely using the map algebra function, like in this figure. And the modeling, tsunami Indonesian modeling for 5, 10, 15, and 20 meters. The data used in this study were shoreline and DEMNAS, digital elevation model from Badan Informasi Geospasial. The shoreline is used to determine the starting point of wave propagation, while DEM data is used as the basis for computing run-up inundation from the sea to the land. This model is one of the simplest models because it only considers the topography and elevation factors of the study area. There is no roughness of surface and another factors. The further stage is the identification of tsunami-prone areas in the Pacitan Regency. The identification was carried out by conducting a rapid assessment of the tsunami-affected areas resulting from the modeling. And then rapid assessment was carried out by analyzing the geomorphological characteristic of coastal area, consisting relief, slope, constituent materials, genetic processes, and coastal typology. The survey of the result is the potential level of exposure of region to tsunamis based on the characteristic of the coastal area. This is the result of Indonesian modeling in Pacitan Regency for 5, 10, 15, and 20 meters Indonesian model. The data was used as DEMNAS that has a 20 arc-second spatial resolution or 8.1 meters. So it can be concluded that the more detailed the spatial resolution data, the more accurate and logical Indonesian modeling will be. The logic or assumption used in this modeling is that a tsunami with a specific heat will inundate an area with a lower surface elevation than the Indonesian heat. Furthermore, areas connected to the shoreline will be inundated or affected if there is an inundation higher than the surface elevation of the area. Therefore, the closer an area is to the shoreline, the more inundated the area will be. Furthermore, the higher the tsunami inundation that occurs, the wider the area affected. So that is the logical function of this modeling. However, the result of the tsunami inundation modeling in this study were not entirely perfect. Sorry, this is the width of the tsunami inundation based on the sub-district and based on the number of villages in Pacitan Regency. And there were increasing in line with the height of the inundation. And then this is the lack of this modeling. There is like I said before, that this model were not entirely perfect because the modeling results with 5, 10, 15, and 20 meters inundation scenarios in the study showed several anomalies, namely the potential for tsunami affected areas that were not spatially logical, such as in this yellow polygon. We can see that actually this is not logic. The area in front of this polygon is not inundated, but behind this area is inundated. This is not logic. Okay. It is because or it was influenced by the spatial resolution of DEM data used. Therefore, it can be concluded that the higher of the spatial resolution of DEM, the more accurate the quality of the resulting model. We can see if the inundation model using higher scenario, more than 8.1 meters, it will be a good model. This is for 10 meters inundation model, and then 15 meter inundation model, and 20 meter inundation model. And for further result, this study also analyzed the area will be affected based on the administrative area, like sub-district and village, to make a good recommendation to the government. And then the coastal characteristic of Pacitan Regency. The coastal characteristic of Pacitan were identified based on its geomorphological characteristic, which were composed of morphological or relief, the composition of material, and then genetic processes and coastal typology. There were land erosion coast, structurally shaped coast, marine deposition coast, wave erosion coast, and coast built by organism. And then the next result is identification of tsunami-prone areas in Pacitan Regency. Based on the modeling and the characteristic of coastal area, the result obtained that area with characteristic of land morphology, with the constituent material dominant by sand texture, tend to experience a more severe impact than areas with the highly morphology with solid or rocky material. And the flat coastal is marine deposition coast, located in Teleng Rias, Rau, Watu Karo, Krakal, Warawari, Sidomulyo, Sengit, Kaliwuluh, Wawaran, Salo, Soge, Kunir, Daki, and Hadiwarno. And then another location in the Lawang, Lur, Lumbungan, Bakung, and Candi coastal area. And the conclusion, based on the result of the data analysis, it can be concluded that the area inundated by the tsunami was directly proportional to the inundation head scenario. The coastal area in the tsunami-prone area of Pacitan Regency was an area with plain morphology characteristic, loose material, and marine deposition coast typology. It has proved that the physical characteristic of the coastal area significantly affect the potential impact of the tsunami disaster. Therefore, areas with this characteristic must become a priority area for tsunami disaster mitigation, both structurally and non-structurally. And this study is expected to be one of the benchmark for further studies, especially on tsunami modeling in other areas. And this study is part of the Tridharma Integrated Grant or Hibah Integrasi Tridharma from Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta, Indonesia. And this is our references that were used for this study. That's it. Thank you, Bapak Amiruddin.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Yes, thank you, Mr. Yunus. Yeah, your presentation dealing with the geospatial technology for identify tsunami is a unique topic. Yeah, very interesting. You have presented on time also. So now it is time for discussion. I invite participants to ask questions for Mr. Yunus. Time for participant. Okay, time for participants to ask everything, critic, others argumentation, or a question, please.
Excuse me, Mr. May I have some question? I'm presenter but not participant. May
Yeah,
I?
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Of course, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Amiruddin. Okay, so very good presentation from Pak Yunus ya, atau Mas Yunus. It's very interesting. I want to ask about the scenario about the level of tsunami. Have you known the data that the highest tsunami ever happened in South Ocean Indonesia? Is it 20 meters or 100 meter? Because your scenario is 5, 15, and 20. Yeah. So what about if there's a more higher than that tsunami? Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
May
Okay.
I answer, Pak Amiruddin?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Pak Yudi Basuke, for the question. I have some data and then some latest research from BMKG that show that there are potential tsunami events more than 20 meters in South Java. But I have no a good data more than DEMNAS, so I cannot make a more accurate modeling for tsunami Indonesian. So I just make a modeling only for 5, 10, 15, and 20 meters. Because of I have no surface roughness data, I have no deformation of sea land,
Level.
and then I have no data about the energy of the wave. So I just make a simple modeling based on the propagation. So actually this model is appropriate with the coastal flood, not for tsunami, but this is just only to make a model that can spatially show the prone areas,
Okay.
only to show the prone areas.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Yunus. I think it's very good to improve with the evacuation route or something that you can improve the research. Thank you, and I give a high appreciate for you. Thank you, Mr. Yunus and Pak Amiruddin.
Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, the question and the answer is very relevant and focused. And okay, furthermore, if there are any presenter or participant who want to ask more question, please feel free to ask. Okay, no question again. Yes, thank you for good presentation from Mr. Yunus. Okay, for hopefully your paper will be published in the Chinese proceedings. Yeah. Thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you, Pak Amiruddin.
Yeah. Okay, next I invite the next presenter for paper IT numbers 2020 and 64. Pak Dekan, ya. the Dean of School of Pasca, postgraduate, ya, Mr. Sularto. Mr. Sularto. Mr. Sularto here? Oh, no, not here. Okay, not here. So the next, I invite the next presenter for paper ID number 1930, Mr. Arif Laila Nugraha, who will present a paper with the title Environmental Vulnerability Assessment through Green Open Space Mapping using multi-criteria decision making and GIS. You have 15 minutes, divided 10 minutes for presentation and the rest 5 minutes for discussion. So please present with excellent performance. Time for you. Mr. Arif? Arif. Oh, Mr. Arif not here also. Okay. Mas Yudi ya, Yudi Basuki ya. Okay, time now
Yes.
for Mr. Yudi Basuki. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Pak Amiruddin. Is there my screen have seen or not yet?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait for a minute.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Amiruddin. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the opportunity. So here I will present about our research. I'm not alone. This is my team. Ibu Sri Rahayu. Perhaps Ibu Sri Rahayu can show the video, perhaps, or not.
Okay, Bu Sri.
Perhaps trouble in signal or not. Okay. I don't want to waste the time. So thank you. This opportunity, I will give some brief about the land use and trip attraction modeling to pandemic anticipation policy toward sustainable development in Semarang. Okay. So in the background, I will give some brief of about the transportation concept or system that consists about the activity system, network, and flow. As you know, the activity of human will demand about the flow. So the activity actually represent by land use in the term of urban. Then the interaction and relationship among it can be explained to a model to be used to predict human mobility as a demand of travel based on the activity. So what's the correction about the COVID-19 pandemic? The COVID-19 pandemic effect have a serious problem, including transportation, travel, and human mobility. So as we know that human mobility is one of COVID-19 virus spreading, then the land use that produce the large mobility must be anticipated and need a policy to during the effect of COVID-19 viruses, according the type of the land use, of course. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We continue or waiting for the adhan?
Yeah, continue.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, from.
So the aim of the study is to provide a trip attraction model in for type of land use to give suggestion about recommendation that to anticipate the spread of COVID-19 viruses during pandemic based on type of land use activity. The data that we use is from land use in Semarang in 2019 and the reproduction data that modified from 2017 to 2019 according to population rate. So we use about 4 major land use such as commercial, industrial, residential, and agriculture. The mobility, the human mobility derived from origin and destination metric from 16 district in Semarang. So this is a brief of land use of Semarang. As you see in the map, the green one is agriculture, and the yellow, dark and yellow is residential, and the red is commercial, and the rest is industrial. So the origin and destination metric about the from the 16 district can be described in the table. Then we use the multiple linear regression to build the model with the mobility as a dependent variable, and the land use type, area of land use type is an independent variable. So the hypothesis or the function is the mobility is the function of area of residence, commercial, industrial, and agriculture. So after we executed the model with the SPSS, we found that the mobility is depend on the commercial area. Yeah? So the commercial area is can be concluded or can be say that this is the type of land use that have more attraction of the mobility. So this is a proof that the commercial is land use that attract more mobility. So it is in line with the other research that say that commercial activity is believed that become the second common factor to thrive in the urban activity beside the work activity. So, but the contribution of commercial area to trip attraction or mobility can be very depend on characteristic of commercial area. Then this result give some paradox, give a paradox in the term of COVID-19 pandemic, that human mobility has strong relation with the spread of COVID-19 viruses. So, but the other hand, the commercial land use or commercial activity is important to strengthen the urban economic and citizen welfare. It shows that the commercial sector in Semarang is very important sector that contribute to GRDP of Semarang. So we must be wise to give some recommendation about uh, the the human mobility caused by the commercial activity. Some lesson learned from another country is in some case in China, the control of COVID-19 spread by mobility is integration from multiple systems, including business, education, transportation across the country. In Malaysia, the economic sector controlled with allow it to open guideline like monitoring red zone area as strictly being. So according the result and discussion, perhaps the recommendation to anticipation for the mobility to commercial land use is with the low risk pandemic like visitor restriction and serve medical tools like hand sanitizer and masker in the low risk of pandemic area. Okay, we can conclude that the commercial land use is the activity that attract human mobility. So it must be caring for government in the term of COVID-19 pandemic to anticipate the operational of commercial land use to prevent the spread of the viruses. So the model can be used to generate and derive the policy in order to strengthen darkness in sustainable development context in during COVID-19 pandemic in urban activity, especially in commercial activity. So I think it's a short explanation. Perhaps there are many questions or any discussion to improve the research, or perhaps we have some idea according this our simple presentation. And thank you and stay safe. Thank you, Pak Amiruddin.
Yes. Yes, thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Judy. Your presentation dealing with land use modeling in Semarang is a good topic. Very interesting. You have presented on time. And now time for discussion. I invite other presenter to ask question. Time for participant. Please feel free to ask. Yes, time for participant to give some other ideas or other argumentation.
I have a question. If it is allowed, permitted.
Yes, of course, of course.
Okay.
Ibu Landung ya.
Yes. Thank you, Pak Yudi and team, for the nice presentation. Can you move back to the last slide on your recommendation? Yeah. I'm curious and about your last recommendation on restriction on the visitors. Yeah. Is there any existing policy that support the instrument for the traffic management around the commercial area have been adopted or implemented by the Semarang city government?
Oh yes, thank you, Pu. Miss or Mrs. Mrs. Landung. Okay, okay, thank you. I think we forget to put the policy about the traffic to limited access to the commercial area, yeah, because we focus on the land use, but I think it's a very good idea to we put in the note about the restricting about the traffic. Okay, okay, thank you, Mrs. or Miss Landung. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, another question, please. Another question from audience. No question? Yes, presentation time is up. Once again, I would like to thank for your excellent presentation, Mr. Yudi. Hopefully your paper will be published in the ICENIS proceeding.
Amin. Thank you, Pak Amir.
Yes, you're welcome.
Stay safe, Pak
Thank you.
Amir.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, the next presenters. I invite the next presenter for paper ID number 1935. Yes, 1935.
Yes.
Yeah, Ibu Sabaria ya, Mausa Rahman. You have 15 minutes
Okay.
10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for discussion. Okay, times for you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sabaria Masuna Rahman from 10 November Institute of Technology. I would like to present my research about solid waste management in island communities, case study in Ardesa District, Kangean Island. Introduction. Ardesa District has never implemented solid waste management. Based on statistic data, the population of Ardesa District has increased from 61,346 people in 2015 to 86,655 people in 2019. Population growth is linear to waste production growth, and currently Ardesa District is struggling to provide proper waste management according to government regulation. Today, Ardesa District communities manage waste they produce by making illegal dumping, throw the waste to drains, dispose the waste in coastal area, or burning the trash. This is the picture of recent flood that happened in Ardesa District, exactly in Angon village. That happened due to the drains full of waste instead of rainwater. So the aims of this research is design solid waste management in Ardesa District, design organizational structure, and analyze Ardesa District communities' participation in solid waste management activities. But for today's presentation, I will only focus to explain about design solid waste management in Ardesa District. Material and method. Study area. This study took place in Ardesa District, one of districts located in Kangean Island. Kangean is one of the archipelago areas in Sumeneb Regency that located eastern part of Madura Island. Ardesa District consists of 19 villages and has population 86,645 people. Population and waste sample. Population in the study area, it was 86,655 people, and the sample consists 30 households that determined by follow the guidelines in SNE. And then the household is divided into three categories: the permanent houses, semi-permanent houses, and non-permanent houses. For the sample area was determined purposely based on the level of population density in 5 out 19 villages. Ardesa, Angon-Angon, Kalisaka village as areas with high population density, and while Pabian and Pasiramat village as area with low population density. Research instrument of this research use SNE, and the sampling activities was carried out for 4 days to determine the waste composition and waste generation. Existing condition. Storage in Ardesa District is a mixed system, which is the compostable waste and non-compostable waste in one storage, and the for collection. As I mentioned before, the Ardesa District has never implemented waste management, so but in some village like Angon-Angon village and Ardesa village had been done for waste collection activities, but today they're not operational anymore. For final disposal, Ardesa District communities dispose their waste by making illegal dumping, throw their waste into drains, coastal area, or burn the waste. For waste generation and composition, here the result of my waste generation in Arjasa district that divided into permanent houses, semi-permanent houses, and non-permanent houses. This 4 kilogram percent per day and 4 cubic meter percent per day. And here the composition of waste in Arjasa district consists 62.7% compostable waste, and the rest is non-compostable waste that consists plastic, paper, cardboard, wood, textile, cans, glasses, rubbers, hazardous waste, styrofoams, diapers, and residues. The design of solid waste management in Arjasa district. First one is the storage at the source. For permanent, here's the volume storage that need for permanent house, semi-permanent house, and non-permanent house. For waste, so here's the flow diagram for waste collection, transfer, and transport at Arjasa district. For waste collection, it's divided into 2 type collection, individual collection and communal collection. Here's the volume for individual collection and the volume for communal collection. For transfer station in Arjasa district, design has 3 transfer station in Angkatan village, Kalikatak village, and Pasiraman village. For transfer station of Angkatan has number of container for compostable waste is 42 units, and for non-compostable waste is 25 units. And for the transfer station of Kalikatak, number of containers 41 units for compostable waste and 25 units for non-compostable waste. And for transfer station of Pasiraman, number of containers 21 units for compostable waste and 13 units for non-compostable waste. Here's the waste transport. The waste transport is designed use SCS system or stationary container system. The waste transport from individual collection to transportation. So this the number of vehicles that need for each collection activities in each transportation. And the next is waste transport from communal collection through to transfer station. Here's the number of truck that need for the transport activities. So here's the transport activities from transfer station to recycling station. The last one is residue transport from recycling station to integrated waste processing site in Arjasa district. For the activities, number of truck that need is 2 units of truck. With the volumes of truck is 3 cubic meter, 8 cubic meter. Sorry. So here's the location of waste containers, transfer station, and recycling station in Arjasa district. Number of waste container that planned in Arjasa district is 15 units, and 3 units of transfer station and 2 units of recycling station and 1 unit for integrated waste processing site. Here the mass balance of recycling station of Polo Polo village. And the next one, the mass balance of recycling station of Sambakati village. And the last one is mass balance of waste in integrated waste processing site. So this the calculation of required area for recycling site of Polo Polo need 461 meters square, and for recycling site of Sambakati need 822 meters square, and for integrated waste processing site is client has two scenario processing, has two scenario activities, that without incinerator process and with incinerator process. For without incinerator process, the area that required is very large, and if the if the integrated waste processing site use incinerator process, the required area can reduce up to 90%. 90%. So here's the layout of integrated waste processing site and the layout of recycling station. The conclusion of this research, the waste management system that can be applied in Arjasa district can be start from storage at source, which divided into type storage, compostable container for food wastes and yard wastes, while non-compostable container consists of all types of wastes produced except compostable waste. Then continued with waste collection, waste processing, composting and recycling. Furthermore, the residues is processed by thermal technology, which is incinerator, and then dumped in a mini backfill area. Thank you.
Okay, Ibu Sabaria. Are you okay, yeah? As you are,
I'm a little bit sick.
Yes, I see you are not fit, but I hope it's not because of COVID, yeah?
No.
Yes, thank you, Ibu Sabaria. Your presentation is very interesting. Dealing with solid waste management, yeah, is very good.
In
And,
Arjasa district, Kangen Island.
okay. And you have presented on time. So now it is time for discussion. I invite other presenter to ask questions. The time for discussion. Please feel free to ask. Yeah, please. Other presenter, you have some question. Okay, no questions.
Excuse me, Pak Amir, I raise the hand, but perhaps not.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't see. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please, Mas Yudi.
It's very interesting, very nice topic, Ibu Sabaria. I hope you will be fine from the illness, because in the illness perhaps not COVID, but about because of the deadline, I think, the deadline of paper.
Yes.
Okay. So it's very interesting. I just want to know about what's different the waste management in the island and in the continent, about the or the urban, that in not in the small island, because it's very interesting. If you highlight the difference from the waste management in the small island and the big island, perhaps. Thank you.
Okay. As I know from the waste management in small island is not complicated as the big like a big island, like Kementerian PUPR has the criteria from based on the size of island. For example, like island that has area that has area for like 2,000 meters square is and has population about 5 people per hectare. It's not the waste management is the waste management the waste management is not complicated like from storage collection. The waste management that they produce like sorry.
Yes, because the characteristic is very different, isn't it? The small island have a limitation about the area, isn't it?
And yeah, and the waste
Okay.
and not use like mini dam like not use the like incinerator and other technologies. Just they make a small mini landfill, and the waste that they produce langsung
Directly, okay.
ditimbun di dalam
Okay. To dump directly in the soil, okay?
directly
Okay.
into the landfill area.
Landfill area.
They have not to do
To process.
the process like the process like the composting or recycling activities like.
Okay, thank you. I hope my question not give a bad news about your illness. Okay, thank you, Pak Amir.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Good. Other question, please? If any. Okay, time is up. So thank you for your charming presentation, Ibu Sabaria. Yeah, hopefully you get well soon, and your paper will be published in the ICENIS proceedings. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Ibu Sabaria. Okay, next presenter. Invite the next presenter for paper ID number 1936, Mr. Muhammad Nurdin. Yeah.
Okay, I present.
Yeah. Okay, you have 15 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for discussions.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for you.
Okay, can you see my slide presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you for coming to my presentation. It's great to see you all via Zoom meeting. The Honorable of Committee and Moderator of the International Conference on Energy, Environment and Information System. On this occasion, I will present our research entitled The Antifungal Properties of Titanium Dioxide Nanoparticle as Prevention Wilt Disease Fusarium oxyporum under Ultraviolet Light. Okay. Plant disease caused by various microbial species such as fungi, bacteria, and others have caused serious problems for agriculture commodities. This has an impact on decreasing crop yields globally. Many factors cause low productivity of crops yields, one of which is Fusarium wilt disease caused by Fusarium oxyporum attacks. Disease caused by Fusarium oxyporum is still a major threat. The Fusarium oxyporum is a fungus that is widespread both in plants and soil. The fungus attacks the rotting banana pods. Can see on the slide. The spraying chemical pesticide on a regular basis has become the main choice of farmers in overcoming this problem, and its use is reported to be increasing every year. Currently, many developed and applied fungal attack control, such as spraying chemical fungicide. However, the fungicide have harmful effects such as residue on foodstuff and contamination of toxic pesticide in the environment and the emergence of pests and pathogens resistant to pesticide. Apart from being caused by the unstable nature of the compound, pesticide performance is not optimal due to its resistant effect. Another challenge with the use of chemical pesticide is that chemical pesticides are pollutants for heavy metal on plantation soil. The development of titanium dioxide nanoparticle-based antifungal is reported as an intensive study to replace the role of chemical fungicide in overcoming forest plant disease. The titanium dioxide nanoparticle is one of the photocatalyst material environmental friendly and has great potential as a material antifungal. The titanium dioxide photocatalyst has many advantages, including high stability, strong oxidation, not toxic, long-term stability, inexpensive, has wide bandgap energy with a large surface area, and can be used repeatedly without losing its catalytic activity. In addition, the titanium dioxide has an extensive application in various fields such as water treatment, biosensor, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and biomedicine. The antifungal activity of titanium dioxide directly related to the present oxidation agents such as hydroxyl radicals, superoxide anions, and hydrogen peroxide. This reactive oxygen species will cause interference with cell permeability to destroy cell and subsequently oxidize intracellular component that inhibits cellular respiration. From several previous studies, it was reported that titanium dioxide saw an effective and efficient performance in inhibiting the growth of fungi, namely Phytophthora palmifera, Aspergillus flavus, Fusarium graminearum, Aspergillus niger, and Trichoderma viride. So, in this research, we report about antifungal properties of titanium dioxide nanoparticle as prevention with disease Fusarium oxyporum under ultraviolet light. The research methods consist of synthesis of titanium dioxide nanoparticle, then preparation of Fusarium oxyporum. Furthermore, photocatalytic activity as an antifungal activity of Fusarium oxyporum. The synthesis of titanium dioxide nanoparticle was carried out by mixing titania tetraisopropoxide, ethanol, and distilled water. Solution with different ratio, then stirred at room temperature for 30 minutes. Then the final step of titanium dioxide nanoparticle format was calcined by calcination using X-ray diffraction and scanning electron microscopy. The antifungal activity test of titanium dioxide against Fusarium oxyporum was carried out by dilution method. A result and discussion. We analysis the titanium dioxide using X-ray diffraction. The formation of anatase titanium dioxide crystal was carried out by the sonication technique and analysis using X-ray diffraction. The peaks of titanium dioxide obtained were following GCPDS data, and no impurity peaks were detected, indicating that the purity of sensitized titanium dioxide was very high. The X-ray diffraction of titanium dioxide saw high crystallinity characterized by 5 specific peaks at 2 theta, approximately 25 degree, 38 degree, 48 degree, 54 degree, and 65 degree with their corresponding Miller indexes of 101, 004, 200, 105, and 204 respectively. Then we analysis using scanning electron microscopy. The surface morphology of the sample was analyzing using SEM or scanning electron microscopy to confirm the structure of titanium dioxide nanoparticle. The scanning electron microscopy result of titanium dioxide at a calcination temperature of 500 degrees Celsius. You can see on the slide, figure 2. The scanning electron microscopy result so that the titanium dioxide has high homogeneity, is uniform, dense, and has homogeneous size with a rock surface. Then it was seen clearly that the magnification indicates the presence of titanium dioxide chunk on the surface as its layer is well spread out. In addition, a large number of spherical grains with varying particle size were observed in the high magnification of titanium dioxide scanning electron microscopy. As shown is figure 2D. So the titanium dioxide with greater magnification, it was apparent the most of the particles were spherical. Then the antifungal effect of titanium dioxide on Fusarium oxyporum. Based on table on the slide, it can be seen that the control without treatment has not effect against Fusarium oxyporum when compared to treatment addition of titanium dioxide and armor 300 EC as a positive control. The inhibition of power control without treatment of 0%, while the inhibition of positive control is 86.25%. The sample with titanium dioxide mass using 1.6 gram what saw the high activity with an inhibitory power of 88.49%. Okay, this mass was the optimum mass to inhibit and even kill the fungus Fusarium oxyporum. This indicates that the higher of titanium dioxide dose was given, the higher the inhibitory activity. On the other hand, seen from the photocatalytic activity of titanium dioxide, when it is included by ultraviolet light, it will produce hydroxyl radicals, peroxide radicals, and reactive oxygen species. These radicals were the main key in inhibiting the fungus Fusarium oxyporum and can even kill the fungus. Then conclusion, in summary, we have sensitized titanium dioxide via sonification technique as antifungal against Fusarium oxyporum under ultraviolet light. The analysis of titanium dioxide using X-ray diffraction and scanning electron microscopic revealed that the anatase titanium dioxide crystal were formed with an angle to theta approximately 25 degree, 38 degree, 48 degree, 54 degree, and 65 degree. And the surface of most the particles were spherical. The sample with a mass of 1.6 gram significant inhibited the growth of Fusarium oxyporum with inhibition of 88.46% when compared to positive control of 86.25%. The nanoparticle titanium dioxide saw efficient and effective result in inhibiting Fusarium oxyporum and the potential to be used as plant protection. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. I hope the result of these reports are useful. I leave it back the moderator.
Yes, Mas Nurdin, yeah,
Okay.
your presentations dealing with antifungal properties of TiO2, yeah, non-O particle, is an interesting topic, very nice, and you have presented on time. So now it is time for discussion. I invite other presenter or participant to ask question for presenter. Time for audience, please feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. Okay, please, audience. If any problems, any questions, any others arguments, you can explain to presenters. No raise hand. Okay. Okay, no question.
Okay, no question.
From participants, so it is blessing for. Yeah, no question, yeah. Okay, I guess it is blessing for Mr. Nurdin.
Okay.
Time is up. Once again, I would like to thank for your good presentations.
Okay.
Hopefully your paper will be published in the ICENIS proceeding. Okay, thank you. Good luck, Mr. Nurdin.
Okay, thank you very much, Amiruddin.
Yeah, okay. Yes, for the last presentation, I invite the next, the last presenter for paper ID number 96, Ibu Balkis, yeah, will be present a paper talking about variation of environmental parameters and zooplankton abundance in Port Dickson coastal waters over a decade of developments. You have 15 minutes, 10 minutes for presentation, and the rest 5 minutes for discussion. So please present with excellent performance. Time for you.
Thank you, Dr. Amiruddin. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Siti Balkis binti Abdul Razak. I'm from University Putra, Malaysia. Okay, today I will present my research entitled Variations of Environmental Parameters and Zooplankton Abundance in Port Dickson Coastal Waters over a decade of development. Okay. Okay, here is the outline of my presentation today. The introduction, methodology, results and discussion, and conclusion. So, okay, I will start my presentation with a simple question. What is zooplankton? Zooplankton is a marine organism with a wide range in size, from micro to megaplankton, such as jellyfish. They can be found in all ocean zones, rivers, lakes, and ponds. They respond directly and quickly to many physical, chemical, and biological changes in the ecosystem. So what are their importance? The plankton play an important role in the food web by linking the primary producers and higher traffic levels. Besides that, they are also a good food source of cultured fish and useful indicator to determine the changes of the aquatic ecosystem. The next question is, why are coastal ecosystems important? Basically, coastal ecosystem consists of biotic or living marine animal and plant communities, including zooplankton, and abiotic or non-living components of the marine environment, such as nutrients. coastal ecosystem play an important role in biogeochemical cycling, flow of energy, and provide habitat for a wide range of marine organisms. Coastal ecosystem also provide many services such as goods, recreation, tourism, erosion control, pollution control, and habitat provision for human well-being. So here is the problem statement of this study. As I mentioned earlier, coastal ecosystem play an important role as a nursery and breeding ground for many fishes and invertebrates, including zooplankton. However, nowadays, the coastal ecosystem are depleting due to anthropogenic activities such as coastal development and tourism. These anthropogenic activities have increased the water pollution due to the increase of nutrients and turbidity. This can alter the environmental conditions that affect the structure and functions of the coastal ecosystems, including zooplankton abundance. So the objective of this study is first to compare the environmental parameters and zooplankton abundance in Port-Dickson coastal waters, determining the effect of COVID-19 pandemic in Port-Dickson coastal waters. Here is the methodology. Here is the location of the study area. Port-Dickson located at the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia. It also located in the Strait of Malacca, one of the most important shipping lanes in the world. Port-Dickson also located close to Kuala Lumpur and Kuala Lumpur International Airport. So it has become a popular tourist destination. In 2019, Port-Dickson recorded almost 4,500,000 local and international tourist arrival. About 200 hotels and resorts in Port-Dickson in 2019, with hotel occupancy averaging 80% on weekends and 40% on weekdays. Besides that, Port-Dickson has marine habitats such as seaweed and coral, which has the potential to be developed as a controlled ecotourism area. Here is the two main economic pillars in Port-Dickson. First is the petroleum processing, and second is the tourism. Okay, next is the environmental parameters that we measured in this study. The physical chemical parameters such as temperature, salinity, pH, turbidity, use of oxygen, and transparency were measured in situ. Meanwhile, the nutrients such as total ammonia, total nitrogen, phosphorus, and zooplankton were analyzed in the laboratory. The study was carried out from bi-monthly from June to October in 2010 and monthly from June to September in 2020 after the movement control order was relaxed. That's the result. First, for the environmental parameters, the turbidity was higher in year 2020 compared to 2010. And after the MCO was relaxed, the same pattern was observed, where the turbidity was observed increased from July to September with the increasing of anthropogenic activities. Meanwhile, for the water transparency, the decrease of water transparency was observed in 2020 due to the high turbidity. The same pattern was observed where the transparency was decreased from August to September 2020 with the increasing of anthropogenic activities. Next is the total ammonia nitrogen for the nutrient. Huge increase of ammonia was observed in 2020 compared to 2010 from 10 milligram microgram per liter to almost 300 microgram per liter in 2020. After the MCO was relaxed, the same pattern was observed where the total ammonia was increased from 50 to almost 800 microgram per liter in September 2020. For the nitrates, same pattern was observed for the nitrate nitrogen, where the increasing in the concentration was observed in 2020 and after the MCO was relaxed from July to September. Similarly, for the total nitrogen, the increase of total nitrogen was observed in year 2020, then in 2010, and after the MCO was relaxed. Meanwhile, for the soluble reactive phosphorus, huge increase was observed from 10 to almost 200 microgram per liter in 2020. And same pattern was observed after the MCO was relaxed with the increasing of anthropogenic activities. Same pattern also was observed for the total phosphorus. The huge amount of total phosphorus was observed in 2020, and also after the MCO was relaxed in September 2020. For the chlorophyll A was recorded higher in year 2020 than in 2010. After the MCO was relaxed, the chlorophyll A was, however, after the MCO was relaxed, the chlorophyll A was decreased from August to September, probably due to the domination of blue-green algae due to the increase of nutrients. Next, the result and discussion for the zooplankton abundance. Zooplankton density was significantly higher in 2020 compared to 2010. The zooplankton populations were almost dominated by copepods. In both years, the gelatinous zooplanktons or jellyfish communities were higher in 2020 compared to 2010, indicated the decrease in September after the MCO was relaxed, probably due to the increase of waters. The phytoplankton probably dominated by the blue-green algae, which cannot be consumed by the zooplankton. So there is less food for the zooplankton. The correlation analysis shows zooplankton was positively correlated with nutrient, the total amount. Meanwhile, the total phosphorus was positively correlated with salinity and chlorophyll A. So for the conclusion, a comparison of findings from 2010 study to the data in 2020 demonstrated that for distant coastal waters undergo nutrient enrichment over the years. Increasing levels of nutrients, particularly after the MCO was relaxed, suggested the terrestrial input on nutrients by anthropogenic activities. Increase of nutrients in the coastal waters resulted in high phytoplankton, which can be seen from the chlorophyll A concentrations and zooplankton productivity. Salinity, nutrients, and chlorophyll A seem to influence the abundance of zooplankton in distant coastal waters. So that's all for me. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Ibu Siti Bilkis. Yeah, your presentation dealing with variation of environmental parameter and zooplankton abundance is a very interesting topic. Very good. You have presented on time. And now it is time for discussion. I invite other presenter or participant to ask questions for Ibu Siti Bilkis and tips. Times for audience, so please feel free to ask. Okay. Any questions?
Excuse me, Pak Amir. May I participate to the question discussion?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Mas Yudi, yeah.
Thank you. Very nice topic, Ibu Balkis. Okay, a simple question from me. Is this your method can be applied in the small scale small scale case yeah, like a lake or perhaps what call in the small lake in the residential property, perhaps some kind like this, or is it's only in the large scale like a dam or the lake, etc. Perhaps you can brief me, give some answer about this. Can can it apply to the small scale or large scale, perhaps? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Budi, for your question. Actually, for the zooplankton, you mean for the zooplankton or water quality?
Yes, for
Both.
the indicator by zooplankton, the water quality is in small case, yeah, about the dam or the little dam in the property or residential, or in the large like lake or big dam in the region. Thank you.
Zooplankton actually we can find in all the aquatic ecosystems, in pond, in dam, in lake, and also in marine. So many studies have been done for years that show the zooplankton is among one of the best indicator for water pollution. And different species have different their different tolerant response. So it will indicate the
Quality.
the quality of the water, such as some species of coffee pot can be found in high abundance in the eutrophic water, and some in less. Usually, for the monitoring, we can see their abundance and also their diversity. Usually, in the polluted water, their abundance is high compared to the clean water. On the other hand, the diversity in the clean water is higher compared to the polluted water. So the plan apply to many all the aquatic ecosystems.
What about the river? It can be applied in the river?
Yes, river also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Ecosystem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Yes, other question? If any? Okay, no questions again, so time is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barudin.
Yeah, the question and the answer is very relevant and focused. And thank you for your charming presentation. And hopefully your paper will be published, yeah, in ICENIS 2021 proceedings. Good luck.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, yeah. Yes, we have rest times for 20 minutes before closing these sessions. To all participants, I want to talk thanks for all. You have presented paper with unique, relevant, and belong specific novelty. So very impressive. And here, on behalf of the committee, I would like to thanks for your cooperation, good presentation, and all the good response from audience, so that the discussion running well and meaningful. And we hope all of paper will be published. And we hope to see you again at the next Chinese International Conference. Always success and get lucky for you. And after this, the committee will take a group photo on Zoom. And I inform you also that at 17, you should come in the closing sessions. Thank you. Good luck and see you next. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Is it not necessary to take a photograph in the room 6, Prof?
Yeah, yes, of course.
I'm sorry to remind it.
Yes, of course. Pak Mas has co-host.
Ya, Pak.
Silakan di foto sebentar. Ya, oke, silakan. Ya.
Ya, Pak Bu Sabaria, please open your web, open your cam, web. Pak Mujibur Rahman. Pak Mujibur Rahman.
Mujibur Rahman, Mas Mujib ya.
Sebentar, Pak. Oke.
Bu Sabaria, Mahsuna Rahman. Malaysia.
Ini.
Oh ya, Pak tidak.
Oke.
Bapak Mujibur, Ibu Sabaria, Bu Sabaria. Halo.
Maaf, saya sudah di ruang.
Ya, baik.
Oke.
Sementara 1,
1, 2, 3. Yes, once more. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Terima kasih,
Okay.
Pak. Thank you.
Yes, Mas Has. Okay, once again, nice to meet you all. Stay healthy always. Best wishes and get lucky for all. Thank you. Yeah.